while we're talking about R&B and soul, I want to mention one name, and then you take it from there.
Okay.
Aretha.
Aretha Franklin, she played a big part in our career. We were signed by Bill Graham, and we kind of, that pretty much made our career. I mean, that single thing, when he signed us, we are what we are today because of his foresight there. But we had gone about a year or so, and we had a falling out with Bill, and we were trying to mend our thing with him. And even though, and this shows you how great a man Bill Graham was, even though we were on the outs at the time, he knew that the perfect act to open for Aretha Franklin when she appeared at the Fillmore West was Tower of Power. And he put us on all 4 nights. 4 nights opening for Aretha Franklin. Her band was led by King Curtis. She had the Memphis Horns. She had Bernard Purdie on the drums. She had the Sweethearts of Soul singing background, Billy Preston, Cornell Dupree, Chuck Rainey, Gerald Jermont. I mean, it was an all-star band, fabulous band. And here we are, these young upstarts. We were getting hot in the Bay Area, but I mean, this is Aretha Franklin, it was an honor, And we opened all 4 nights. And they made a live record of it, Aretha Franklin live at the Fillmore West. And on the record, she's wearing this really tight white dress, very clingy all over, and a white turban. And I'll never forget, it's like the 3rd or 4th night, and I was backstage at the Fillmore waiting to go on, and I was in the doorway, and the doorway was real thin. I was just hanging out in the doorway, And I don't know what I was thinking. I guess I was probably just thinking how amazing it was, because the weekend went really well for us. We were doing good, And I was just there, happy and standing in the doorway. And before I knew it, here comes Aretha Franklin. And she's right there. She's got to get through the doorway into the dressing room. So I turned sideways so she could slide through. And she turned sideways to slide through. And, Aretha's a very well-endowed woman. And she got in there, and we were kind of wedged in the doorway, nose to nose, And right when we get in that position, she looks at me and she says, Tower of Power, my favorite band. And I mean, I just melted. I was just done, Unbelievable.
Doc, who has changed the way we look at the landscape of music today, soul music today, impacted the art to this very day, changed the whole landscape?
Oh, easy. Sly Stone.
No question.
Sly.
No question about it.
Oh, big time, sure.
There would be no Graham Central Station, no Earth, Wind and Fire, no Ohio Players, no LTD, no, you look at all the soul music that came out after Sly Stone, it was all different because of him. There would be no slap bass players, there'd be no Marcus Miller, Larry Graham didn't play the way he played. Sly Stone got him to play that way. Sly Stone made all the difference musically, and not only that, man, but he was the guy that brought the races together. He was the first guy that came out playing soul music with white people and black people, man, and it was an obvious love thing, So he impacted the whole music industry, rock and roll, soul music, every aspect of it. He was absolutely the pioneer.
We don't have much time, and my mind is flooded with so many questions that I want to ask, but I got to get these 2 in. The first one is, let's put the focus on this band. Why does What Is Hip, why does it connect so strongly with the audience?
Well, it's got a relentless rhythm, and the question is timeless. What is hip? And the patented answer to that is, what's hip today just might become passé. And it's a universal statement, because what was hip when we came out is no longer hip now. What was hip 10 years before we came out is no longer hip now. And and it's actually come back again and gone away again, and will probably resurface. It's like, it's just how fleeting is hipness.
Oh, and the song just is so pulsating, so driving. I mean, you feel it right here. This is going to be tough. We went from the 3 favorite classic R&B songs that go in the Hall of Fame. This is going to be even tougher with the reservoir of people. that you have performed with as a horn section, lastly, give you a second to think about it. Me and Doc, I'm going to start with you. Give me one session that's the most memorable to you and why.
I think the session with Elton John,
Caribou.
Caribou, because it was at the time. Before then, it was like we were professional, but sort of we were starting out. After that was done, I really felt like a professional, and it was very memorable doing that. There was a lot. It was several days worth. There was a lot of tunes and really sounded good. Greg Adams did a spectacular job, and I felt like different in the studio from then on when after that session.
Gus Dungeon produced that?
Yes.
Right.
One session?
Go from 3 to 1, right? Mean 3 to 1.
Yeah. Jeez. There were a lot of great sessions, man. Well, I'll just pick one. You know, when we did Spanish Moon for Little Feat, I had no idea who they were. We came into this studio, and Van Dyke Parks was producing. And I don't know if you know Van Dyke Parks, but and especially then, he was one of the weirdest cats I ever met in my life, man. He came out, and he was trying to tell us how he wanted us to approach this song. And he said something about throwing crap against the side of a barn or something, man. And I was like, huh? We all looked at each other like, who is this guy, man? He was a real left field kind of guy, you know. And Little Feat, I had heard the name, but I had no idea what they're about. And then this rhythm, man, you know, and Lowell George started singing, you know. The night that I got into town was the night that the rain, it froze on the ground. I thought, man, what is that? And then, to top it off, Greg Adams writes this arrangement, man. I mean, that just barks. It's not about how many notes or how high. It was so simple, but yet every note we played stuck out huge in that arrangement. And that was the genius of Greg Adams, is that he didn't write a lot of notes. It wasn't about, we're going to impress you now. It was about, when we make our statement, it's bold, you know. And he had that line, and we're out, you know. And then Lowell again, you know. That was an unbelievable session.
We're going to get you guys to play a little bit. This is the first time we've done this on Words and Music. Normally it's just to sit down and a chat, but I said, you know, to talk about Tower Power is one thing, to hear that band, it's a whole nother thing. So I really thank you ahead of time for going out with us now and performing. Truly appreciate this.
Litch, man, it's always great to do an interview.
The pleasure's
You
all
are the
mine.
king of interviews.
Thank you, my friend. That means a lot to me.
Thanks,
Doc.
Litch. Yeah, I loved it.
Appreciate that. Once again, the new CD out in stores in November on Epic Records. Oakland's own, In the Oakland Zone. And for those of you who live around the Connecticut area, they will be performing here once again sometime in November. Just check with the Mohegan Sun. For Words and Music, we are backstage at the Wolf Den at the Mohegan Sun in Uncasville, Connecticut. I'm Litch. We'll see you again next time.
Everybody got to be there. Got to get in. Everybody got to get in. Got to be there. Everybody got to be there. It's sold out. People everywhere. It's sold out. Your hands up in the air. It's sold out. You see the ladies got their dancing shoes. It's sold out. We got no time.